Mr. Chairman and colleagues, America's transportation arteries, our roads, our highways, our ports, our bridges, and railways give life to America's economy. Now those arteries need major surgery, but instead the patient is bleeding out. And short-term funding Band-Aids will not help without a solid long-term plan in place to solve this challenge. My belief is you cannot have big league economic growth with little league infrastructure. The way Congress has limped from one short-term funding patch to the next more than 30 times unquestionably reflects a little league strategy. The stop-and-go approach without a viable long-term funding source lowers America's sights in terms of what our transportation system can do. It forces states and federal agencies into making little plans, barely keeping up with the potholes and falling far behind on new railways, ports, and highways. Oregonians are now driving across bridges that are structurally deficient or functionally obsolete. They're swerving around ruts on mountain passes that threaten to cause dangerous accidents. And Oregonians sit in traffic jams, burning through gas and wasting time. And these traffic jams, not just in my state, but across the country, are being seen in places nobody could have even imagined a traffic jam even a few years ago. The infrastructure crisis hurts our businesses and discourages investments in Oregon and across America. China invests more than 4 times the amount our country does in infrastructure. Europe invests twice as much as we do. The fact is the costs associated with transportation and infrastructure are always a part of the calculus when a company is deciding where to invest and who to hire. A recent report from the American Society of Civil Engineers said that the United States needs to invest $3.7 trillion in infrastructure by 2020 and $1.7 trillion in transportation infrastructure alone just to reach what they have termed good condition. Another series of short-term patches is not going to meet the bar. In the meantime, the same report found that Oregonians spend more than $650 million a year on auto repairs and other costs because our highways and roads are crumbling. It's my view that funding a transportation network is right up there with maintaining a fair judicial system and a strong national defense among the most basic and necessary functions of government. There's bipartisan understanding that our transportation system needs major investments, and you hear this from members of both parties. So Congress and this committee has a responsibility to now find a pathway that leads to long-term funding sources. And I hope today's hearing reinforces the enormous need to accomplish this goal and help us move closer to a solution. Next week, the committee is going to continue its consideration of this crucial topic on how to get private sector dollars off the sidelines and into funding American infrastructure. Several weeks ago, Senator Hoeven and I introduced a bipartisan proposal, the Move America Act, to kickstart the use of effective financing tools to solve this crisis. The Move America Act would unlock $200 billion of private sector investment and could be a big part of getting America's infrastructure back up to the big leagues. So today, I say to our witnesses, our guests, and our colleagues, today we're going to focus on funding transportation. In a week from today, we will focus on financing approaches to pay for infrastructure. Both of them are extremely important. Look forward to our witnesses. Always good to see Ray LaHood here. He has distinguished himself by always trying to bring people together and particularly innovative thinking on transportation. So I welcome all of our guests and have had a chance to talk with several of them. Usually talk with Mr. Moore about something like tax reform, but we're happy to have all of you here today, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.